is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a Friday edition of Big D Energy here, Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. He's D-Mac Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion. The guy in the Capitan's chair, of course, it is Joique Bell, former Detroit Lions great, winner of the Harlan Hill Award as well, the quote-unquote Division II Heisman Award, a guy that knows a thing or two about awards. Fish is in the bowl. Sawyer is in the production booth. You guys are live on our YouTube chat thread. You can get involved with the social medias.
What up, Twitter?
Any way you want to do it. Tap in, as my good friend Joique Bell likes to say. We're going to have some fun today on a Friday. We are. We're going to talk some football, obviously. We're getting down towards bowl season starting, the NFL. The Lions will be in Denver this weekend. There was Thursday Night Football last night. College awards being handed out. And I was honored to take home some hardware yesterday. In case you guys missed it, I was presented the Biletnikoff Award for college football's best receiver. Braylon Edwards presented me with it.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I had a question for you.
Yes.
So when you went through the season, what game did you think you stood out in? Against who?
Well, Joique, for me, it wasn't just about me. It was the offensive line that gave my quarterback protection. That allowed. When I stepped on the scene, Joique, I really felt as though we had a chance to be special this season, and I really thought as though through that I would have the opportunity to have a special season. My quarterback could have a special season. I knew that we would have a special season.
What was your quarterback name?
Hey, I'm sorry.
What was your quarterback name?
Oh, that was Jonathan Lewis. Jonathan Lewis.
Hey, Joy, first guy with a 5.5 to bring home the Biletnikoff.
5.65 40 time, Joique. I'm more of a possession guy. Yeah. I specialize in going over the middle. But it was a big honor. It was a big blessing, and certainly too to have Braylon Edwards present me with the Biletnikoff Award.
You're a big fan
if you zoom in on that, why did that say Braylon name on the bottom?
your Braylon Edwards one jersey at Michigan when you were a kid.
Mine was an Anthony Carter one.
Right. Well, I understand that, but
what was your? I'm sorry, Joique. What was your question?
No, I was looking at the trophy. If you zoom in on the bottom of it, I was saying why they said Braylon name on there.
What do you mean?
The trophy that he presented you with had his name on the bottom.
Yeah, that's because
they
they couldn't sketch out Neal's name fast enough, so they just had to give him the trophy.
They had to deliver it
was
to
Braylon
Braylon's
Edwards'
house
name
and make sure that that's where they put the names for the guy presenting it.
Right.
You guys never had awards before?
Thanks.
That's the presenter, so when you're looking at it every time you walk by.
And so for the people on the radio,
you got it presented by
for the people on the
Edwards.
radios, if you guys can't see it, but it's the trophy that Braylon Edwards is presenting to Neal Rule for being the best receiver in the country. It just so happened to have Braylon name on it, and also probably the year that he played as well.
Well, probably. They haven't fixed the engraving on it yet. I will say this, though.
They're slow.
They're slow.
Well, they were. The engravers got other things to do.
I'm gonna tell you what they're not slow at. They're not slow at changing new rules for player safety for college football with the fake slide where they changed the rule. Can you read that for us, Sawyer?
Yeah. So QB A12 takes the snap. Oh, this is just a little breakdown of the play, essentially. It talks about how Pickett was running, faked the slide, then the defenders had to pull up, and then he kept going. So the ruling is if a quarterback does that in the future, the live ball becomes dead at the point where A12 simulates or fakes as if he is beginning a feet-first slide. An official shall sound their whistle and declare the ball dead. Team A will have 1st and 10 at whatever yard line it was blown dead at.
So essentially, as soon as you initiate a slide, it's blown dead. Where did we hear that suggestion before? Man.
Right here.
Yeah, maybe on Tuesday on Big D Energy. But it is amazing to me.
How do you know that if he's not stumbling?
That's something that they'll be left up to their judgment, which probably could be a problem.
They're going to go to the energy commissioner to decide, yes.
The chairman of the Energy Corporation in Louisiana, he'll have to weigh in on it. But, it's amazing, Joique, how quickly they can change things. I thought that any rule discussions had to be tabled until April.
Until after the season, right?
That's weird.
Especially when it comes to paying players. Right?
Yeah.
I just want to know if this is the eye test or these are the stats. Which category was it the eye test, like what we saw is what made them make the decision right away. And it's just unbelievable again. And the NCAA is so inconsistent with they're the big parent. You know, it's like at your house. But why?
Do as I say,
so.
not as I do.
Because I said so. Do as I say, not as I do.
I'm getting a lot of love for being a possession receiver on the YouTube chat. Though, remember, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, you can get involved. We take those comments in real time.
Well, you got 27 catches for like 80 yards.
Right.
Like you're the Jared Goff of
24 of them were for first downs, though.
You're the Jared Goff of receiving. 1-2 turn catch. That's why they call you Sticky.
Right.
I mean, the ball just sticks to you wherever it is.
Right, exactly. Robert Colosia says it really shows how weak a year it was in college football, and that's accurate. But you know what? I'm not giving it back. I'm taking it.
Oh, Pete Smith just gave you a huge prop. The Wayne Cravat. Of Woodward Sports. I loved him with the Jets. He was a possession receiver. Awesome.
Jake Wagoner says NCAA be like fake slide, stay out. That's pretty good. Stick around. 50 past the second hour, we get into the big stay out as well. So it's just one of those things. You guys would be surprised. That Biletnikoff Award, no joke, weighs about 80 pounds.
Yes, it does weigh a lot of pounds.
And by the way, Fish, show him the T-shirt in the house here today.
Well,
Fish is pumped for Sunday.
I am, but I partly messed up because I ordered Grey Cup stuff in preparation for today, the show, and I ordered it too late. That's definitely my fault in that one.
Dang. Why are the Tiger Cats not playing?
No, they are, but I just wanted, ordered
you just told all
CFL
over yourself
Grey Cup
when you could have
hoodie.
just said the opposite story. Fish, the same story goes true if you just said, yeah, I got this in today for this weekend. The Tiger Cats are going on.
I know, but I got
to teach you a little bit.
I know,
but teach you a little bit about smoke and mirrors.
I know, but I had a CFL Grey Cup hoodie and I had the replica trophy.
Well, you can bring it in Monday when you're celebrating. I wonder if you can drink out of the CFL Cup.
Speaking of the Grey Cup, I'm going to get you right.
Oh, yes,
I'm going to get you right on the Grey Cup. That'll be coming up towards the end of the show. We'll have the Pick'em rolling as well. But hey, man, I'm the best receiver in college football. That's what it is. I have the hardware to prove it. It's on social media, so you have to believe it.
You know what, Joy?
Despite how much Joy hates.
I won OHL Player of the Year.
Yeah.
You won
the Harlan Hill Award.
The Harlan Hill.
And I'm a Biletnikoff winner.
Yeah, add that to Wikipedia. Let me check the Wikipedia.
What's the offensive lineman thing? What's that word?
I forget.
Okay, well, sorry, you got something to work on, and Fish, you're up for MVP. So don't worry about that.
You know what we have to do next, though, right? You know the next thing we have to do?
What's up?
We have to raise hell until it gets done. Every day, day in, day out. We got to get you on that backboard.
Yeah. With the Biletnikoff Award.
Joy, it's a perfect. You saw the campaign. See where you are right there. We need you right over Scotty Bowman.
No, not yet. Next contract.
Next
contract. Nice. See, because you understand that college and pro, so we got to see how your pro day does.
This is an arbitrary year.
Arbitration year, exactly.
Yeah.
No, we got to see where I finish in the pantheon of the pros. I'll announce my draft plans, my NFL draft plans at a later date. So make sure you stay tuned at Neal Rule on Twitter and the Gram as well. So hey. I'm just keeping the people in tune with the process and how things are going to work. Tired for a while, 2518 says, Joik be hating on Neal, shaking my head. I agree. What's with the hate, Joik? Why are you hating on me about winning the Biletnikoff Award? Did you vote for somebody else, man?
I didn't have a vote. I didn't vote. So, but I know Fish voted for somebody else.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Eric Kiko on here said that it was the tucked-in gold chain that you brought it home for you. Any wide receivers, you had the bling-bling in the end zone, and that put you over the edge.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who was that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who said that?
Eric Kiko.
I probably should let it. I should let it hang on the day that I win.
When you're up there doing the press and stuff.
I will.
You got swagger. But you're a possession guy, right? You just give the ball back. You're more. I've seen your highlight tapes.
What inspired that for you?
What's that?
The tucked-in gold chain. Is that?
I wear it like it's my it's my thing. I got it when I was over in Italy visiting my wife's family.
Ooh, Italy.
Yeah. So
okay.
that's what it is.
You keep it tucked in. Okay.
I'm gonna tuck mine. I don't want Debo pulling up on me.
Pulling up?
That's my team.
Tuck it in.
I'm gonna tuck mine in.
Did you go to a soccer game in Italy?
Safe. He's not around no more.
No, we go in the summer, so there's no soccer games going on.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna tuck mine in.
Tuck mine line.
No, but Jack Harrington, Neal, you're the man. I agree. I agree 100%. I wish my wife agreed. But anyway, last night, look at what happened in the world of college basketball, by the way. Number 1 in the nation, Purdue.
For what, 2 days?
Went into Rutgers and lost. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. I told you guys, man, Purdue basketball is the Iowa football of college basketball.
I mean, how in less than 24 hours? I mean, really, that's the powerful call that you had. But 1 point win. Is it that big? If we're going to sit here and talk about Michigan or Michigan State and some of the games early on aren't that big. I mean, obviously you see how big of a game it is for Rutgers there, but does this put Purdue right back to where you thought they were? Or do they bounce back from this? Is this something, were they overhyped?
I mean, I always think Purdue's overhyped based on, again, tell me the last big win by Purdue.
See, the thing is with all these top teams or whatever in any sport early in the season is if you're going to take a loss like this, you want to take it early to be able to see what you're made of, than be able to take it late. But you said it, you saw it coming because they continuously can't get over the hump. That's what you're saying as far as culture and as far as the makeup is to get to that next level. It's the same thing as what you're waiting for Purdue, for Iowa football to do exactly what Michigan and the Wolverines did this year.
Win a big game.
Win a big game now and put yourself
a big game.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not saying like the Rutgers game was a big game.
No, but you can't lose those games.
You can't lose those games. Right. You can't go into Rutgers. And look, Rutgers is a little different in basketball. That's an NCAA tournament team. You know, they have made it. You know, they've been pretty decent in basketball. But you're number 1 in the nation. You can't be losing on the road to Rutgers, man. And I know it was Ron Harper's son that did the deed yesterday. And basketball's different than football. Certainly it's different. But, you know, it's just, that's Purdue. Like with Iowa, when they lose to Purdue, ironically enough, losing to Purdue in football and then getting smashed by Michigan. That's Iowa. They're never a threat. They're never a threat to win a big game. They're not going to do it. Purdue's not a threat.
Is it the pressure?
Maybe. I don't know. You guys tell me. You've been in that arena before. I mean, but you know, D-Mac, those are the questions that get answered, right? Like, what was wrong with you guys until you won the cup?
Well, until you get over that, you know, you can get over that hill. You got to keep climbing, and until you change the narrative. Right, and continue to change.
Because people would say that about you guys in 1995.
It was true.
When are you going to win a big game?
Right, when are you going to win a big series? Whatever, like that. Get to the point, right? And especially after, you know, losing to in the finals, getting swept when you're expected to win, and then coming back and you know, when it's easy, when you're supposed to be up the top, when you're playing games, it's easy to play. But the great teams go into places like this and. Not to make the statements, but you can see that they're not ready to make that change. My question is that because this is, are they going to just run it again and again and again like Purdue always does, or is this something because obviously they have the talent, because they are number 1 and stuff like this, do they learn? I mean, we could say the same thing. There's always a point until it changes, right? And who's going to be there to make it change? And a lot of it is culture-wise. To me, you're mentioning the Iowa, and football's never, they're never, I guess, threatening, because they always stick to the same game plan. They're always, if you can pound it out with them and then score over 24 points, you can usually beat them because they don't have a guy since Drew Brees that could throw the ball down the field. So, I mean, they build their team the same way, the lines and wanted to fist fight. That's great for their division, but when they play the Michigan States and Ohio States, they can't hang. So until they change their operating procedure, and maybe that to this point is what Purdue has to do. That's why I like Michigan State consistently with Tom Izzo playing these tournaments and these really tough games early on, because he knows what he needs out of his team. That's more for him as a coach, right? You see Michigan doing it, and that's Juwan Howard now. So maybe the Purdues and the Big Ten teams and the ones that are supposed to be up there have the chance, like the Purdues in basketball, we'll start doing that more, and we'll have to see during the season.
Yeah, I mean, hasn't been a Big Ten champion in basketball since 2001.
Yeah. So
2 decades, man.
So to me, that means you gotta. to me that you got to change the culture.
I know I'm going to get labeled as a hater for saying that, but that is in fact true.
Yeah, you're a factual.
that is.
Your hate comes with facts. So I don't know if it's
catching up on the YouTube chat thread here. Jack Harrington, Neal's looking like a mobster. Jack also says Gonzaga got beat by Alabama. More stunning. No, it's not. Alabama's a national championship contender. Saw them up close and personal firsthand. Their backup point guard was a number 1 point guard in last year's recruiting class. Think about that for a minute. Alabama's going to be a factor before it's all said and done. Neal inspired by Cuban pitchers in the Little League World Series. Mike G says, me and Maz share the gray hair cup. Just saying. So Jake says, I can't wait to see where Neal gets drafted. I'll grab a Rule jersey. Hopefully it's not the Bears. LOL. Well, hey, obviously you don't like the Bears, but if you did, you could get down on them at MyBookie. That's right. MyBookie.ag, promo code Woodward. Let's just cut right to the chase, everybody. Let's get right to the business of it. They'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. UFC 269 going on this weekend. You know you want to get down on that. The fist will be a-flying. There'll be a ton of fireworks. Charles Oliveira, Dustin Poirier, they will be getting it on. I may check that one out on Saturday night. We'll see how the events.
Poirier.
Yeah, Poirier's fun to watch, man. I will. I'll see where the events of the evening take me and see how things end up shaping up. But you know it's going to go down in that fight, and you can get down on mybookie.ag. Maybe you think Aiden Hutchinson's got a shot to win the Heisman. Get better than 20-1 on your money. Give it a spin. Take $5, put it on there. Why not? That way, if it happens, you can get your cash from MyBookie. They take crypto now as a payment source as well, so you can get paid in crypto. If you're one of the Joik Bells of the world and that's your thing, go ahead and do that. MyBookie.ag has you covered. Anything you want to do, bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Remember, double your first deposit up to $1,000 with the promo code Woodward. Have a gambling problem? Call the Gambling Problem Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
Big D. Big D.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We're recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Your Detroit alternative to the normal sports blah, blah, blah. It's Woodward Sports.
Off and running here. Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule. He's D-Mac, Darren McCarty. Joik Bell in the house as well. Fish and Sawyer here also at our Woodward Sports Studio, the MyBookie Studios. And again, just cleaning up here on the YouTube chat thread. AC says, Neal, you going to be at the Oakland-Michigan State game at LCA? Yes, I will. I'll be doing the television for it on TV20 and ESPN. So you guys can watch it in the comfort of your home, or you can come on out to Little Caesars Arena, however you want to do that. How did Alabama basketball get those players? Did the boosters pay the players? I don't know how they got them. Nate Oates is a good recruiter.
You know, they got a special fund for that.
They got a special fund for that.
Special fund.
No, but I mean, Nate Oates, man, out of Romulus High School. I mean, think about it this way, too. Nate Oates was a coach at Romulus High School. Sadie Washington, who's an assistant to Juwan Howard at Michigan, was Nate's assistant at Romulus. Is that the greatest high school coaching staff of all time?
Well, I mean, it just tells you the carousel right there. And again, when you're talking about the tell me what, tell me who, you come out of that program, at least I would think that you're coached well. Your fundamentals might be really good, but that's what's important. That goes to any minor league program, whether it's a high school basketball or it's a club team or whatever like that. You know, it's the same sort of thing as you look at the coaches in the Little Caesars program, you know, which is, you know, the Red Wings farm team for the youth. And, you know, I know all the guys have coached there. Maltz is coaching there now because his kids are through there. But again, it's trying to get the youth with the right direction, and in Romulus, they obviously got it.
Yeah, no, they certainly do. There is no question about that. And then he obviously went to Buffalo, beat Arizona in the NCAA tournament. Now he's in the SEC. People fired up for that Oliveira-Poirier fight as well. Oliveira-Poirier, both dogs. Poirier for the win, though, should be an excellent fight. And then the very next message from MPWMU, Oliveira's going to choke Poirier out. So, you know, people are excited for that one. I think I want to I think I want to check that one out. I think I will do that. Lions in Denver this weekend. As we look, the Denver Broncos an 8-point favorite. Enjoy 22 players on the injury report for this game. Lions are certainly banged up. And look at for those of you watching on YouTube, look at that list. Look at that list. All those guys did not practice on Thursday, with the exception of Jared Goff, who was full practice. But the flu is working its way through, Joy.
Yeah, actually the numbers you gave are actually bad. I thought it was 23 players. But, 8 of those guys right there are out because of illness. They have other things going on. Like you have Penei Sewell with a shoulder and illness as well. You have other guys with other injuries. You have Michael Broncos out with a knee and the illness. And just a lot of guys everything's just kind of intertwined now. Like it's tough, man, especially coming off a big win. You're going to need these guys healthy going into this game against the Broncos, or do we want them healthy?
Depends on your goals.
Depends on your goals.
Neal doesn't.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah, in what chair you have in the game. But Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon, I thought Melvin Gordon was a bit of a question mark as well for the Broncos. Joy, what makes that Denver rushing attack go? Is it like you guys talked about the altitude yesterday, and both of you guys said that it's as real as it gets when you're out there and you're playing and stuff like that. Does that play a factor in it as far as the Broncos are concerned? I mean, your big defensive linemen, they get out there trying to stop that rushing attack. They get a bit gassed. Because it doesn't matter who the parts are in Denver. They've always ran the football.
That plays a big part in it. The scheme plays a major part. And a major guy who's a part of that scheme is a guy that we actually had on this show, and Curtis Monkins. And that can be the secret weapon, because usually wherever he goes, they usually have a good run game. From his time in Buffalo to his time in Detroit, Chicago, to the 49ers, and now he's in Denver. And so that plays a major part as well.
Melvin Gordon is a guy, Joe, I did want to pick your brain on too.
Yeah.
Wait, for Melvin Gordon, I know you're a big fan of his.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I know. He's been one of those guys, Joy, and I don't think I'm alone in this, and I'm curious to see what the people say in the YouTube chat thread. And this might be where, the fantasy football world has a disconnect with reality. But I feel as though Melvin Gordon's one of those dudes where I think people may want more from him. You know what I'm saying? You get where I'm coming from with that right. Maybe the potential wasn't quite fulfilled because he was supposed to be a dude. And to some degree he has been.
Yeah. When he's healthy.
When he's healthy, right.
And that's the thing with the running backs. Like, we can only be that guy for so long because of the beating we take. So you'll hear about a running back, you'll hear about him, and then on to the next. Then it's on to the next. And it can happen like that because you're only valuable to the team or to the NFL when you're healthy. If you look at it right now, all the talk is Jonathan Taylor. But
isn't he more of a unicorn because not taking him? My question to you as a running back.
I want to finish the point though.
No.
So we hear about Jonathan Taylor right now, but at the beginning of the year, it was all Derrick Henry, and then when he gets hurt, all right, who can we promote now? All right, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, he's the next one. And he's deserving of it. He's deserving. All right, but that's kind of how it works. And
the cycle consumes you and then discards you.
Right, and so with Melvin Gordon, like, he still is an elite player when he's healthy, but when you get hurt and you're plagued by injuries, it's going to wear on you, and eventually over time you'll start to fizzle out. So
what makes the difference between? Do you believe that you have only a certain number of carries, which include college and stuff like this, and there is a short, like, guys peter out because of the way you're using the position, or are Adrian Petersons who are running in Seattle still, or whatever, are those guys unicorns?
Yeah, guys like Adrian Peterson, guys like Frank Gore, these guys are unicorns.
Okay.
Right, and even guys who play, like Barry Sanders is a unicorn. The play. People say he retired early. He played 10 years back in the day,
right,
where it was football.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They changed the rules. Right?
In the 1900s.
The late 1900s. He played in the late 1900s.
When it was football.
When it was football, no rules, horse collar, twisting ankles, gouging out eyes at the bottom of the pile, You getting every carry. They didn't have these dual threats at running back. It was one guy, right? And he was one of the play at that time, it put up 1,000 yards every single year that you played, and even adding a 2,000-yard season in there for 10 years. And then you just say, you know what, I had enough. I walk away, and you walk away from the game healthy. You won. These guys are unicorns. So, some guys are just built differently, and that plays a major part in, coming out of school early and not being used. If you look at college, Barry Sanders wasn't used that much until, I think, his third year.
Yeah, because he was behind Thurman Thomas,
right.
Another Hall of Famer.
Right. But you look at it, he didn't have that much wear and tear.
Right.
And
his running style,
and
you can't touch him.
Contributed to that. Well, and he would step out of bounds. Once he got the first down, he wouldn't lowering his shoulder for 3 more yards.
Yeah, and so you look at that. He had really 1 year of a workhorse when he was in college, and then he went to the NFL, and then 10 years. And you look at a lot of these young guys coming into the NFL. The thing is, you want to come in as early as possible. You want to come in as early as possible because that's going to help you on the back end with getting the extra contract.
Steve Brown says, I definitely wanted more from Gordon, but that was from a fantasy perspective, which I thought, would probably be the case. Robert says, we had him here in San Diego. Took a while for him to get on track, fumbles and injuries before the light bulb went on. Thank God he got away from the Chargers and their awful ownership. That's everywhere around the NFL. If you ain't winning, you hate your ownership. Like that's just the way that goes. Some other news, too. Very unfortunate news out of Denver. Demarius Thomas passed away yesterday at age 33. Quoted, his first cousin was quoted in a story from ESPN that said he had been suffering from seizures for over a year. We believe he had a seizure when he was showering. We're not sure when he died. We had just spoke with him yesterday. So obviously very sad news. Demarius Thomas passing away at the age of 33. And I always go back to these types of things, and it's cliche, but this is an NFL football player, former NFL football player, top physical condition, as good a condition as you can be in, minus the wear and tear and stuff like that. But 33 years old, sometimes it's just your time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's.
But you know what? A guy like that, you hear nothing but good things about.
Right,
it.
And that's what makes it hurt.
Yeah, even from Calvin Johnson, putting out his thoughts about it, giving his thoughts and prayers to the families, and a guy that was always positive. I was very good friends. I mean, we kind of ran with the same circle, so we had a lot of the same friends. I remember we have a guy by the name of Ronnie Hillman who played in Denver with them. I think won a ring with them as well. And then it was, we kind of talked about it. I reached out to him, and this is very sudden. This is sudden.
Right.
And
which is the worst kind.
Right. And so I'd rather just wait for, whatever to come out. But yeah, man, this is definitely unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate.
I to experience the suddenty of it, and I have a tattoo on my arm. The bass player James B. Anders, who was a bass player in Grinder and whatever, in 2005 on the phone, right, to his wife. And this is a guy. He was the one that didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do anything else. Coronary edema on the phone to his wife on the day we had our CD release party. Supposedly in Royal Oaks. So that sort of was what shut the band down, which, for lack of a better term, but life in certain ways hits you hard, and that right there just took me back, 16 years. And not only that, the prayers and thoughts go out to their family and stuff, but also I want to take this time to send a shout out to our boy Walter, who's followed us a lot and is going through some health stuff. So thanks for bringing it to the attention. But he's part of the Big D Energy family, and we give a shout out. And Walter's been around since we started here. So we're thinking about you, Walt, and get better. Can't wait to see you back on the chat line.
And this stuff is type of unfortunate. I mean, we lost even another player. Story came out yesterday with Glenn Foster, former Saints player, dies in police custody 2 days after being arrested. Like, all this stuff is going around, and one thing I don't want to happen is that we talk about these things and we kind of normalize it. Right. And I don't want that to happen. Kind of similar to what the Oxford School, like, we got to make sure we keep that on the forefront of people's minds. And like I said, there's issues out there that people are going through, and it's very unfortunate, it's very sad, but I understand. I mean, life throws a lot of curveballs at you. But I remember when I played for the Saints, we had remember Steve Gleason?
Yeah. And
he was done playing, but it was my first year there, my first year in New Orleans. And he came and gave a speech to the team before the game, and he said just that. He said life is going to throw a lot of curveballs at you. He said when they throw it, take the bat and hit it out the park. And it was he gave it was a longer speech, but it was very, very emotional. But definitely a guy that inspired me and the way that I looked at life. But there's no way to kind of sub or to kind of go into this. But if you wanted to go to a football field and throw passes with these guys, and if you needed, some practice on throwing, where could you go?
Well, I mean, hey, if you want to go out and have a good time, right? Like, say you've just had enough of the world,
right?
And you just want to escape, and you want to go out with your friends, your family, co-workers. You want to have a good time. Folding Warehouse is certainly a great option for that. If you haven't done it yet, talk to one of your co-workers, talk to one of your families. They all have. Trust me on this. It's the spot really that's sweeping the downtown Detroit and Hamtramck scene by storm. Home of the original football bowling pin game called Folding. Do corporate parties, team building events, or just walk in with your family and your friends. You can do the unlimited open play option. You can reserve up to 2 lanes as well for up to 10 people for 2 hours. They have over 100 beers available. A $2 mystery beer vending machine that our very own Sawyer pulled a Pabst Blue Ribbon out of. Can you imagine putting $2 in there and pulling out a PBR? Who's the big winner? Sawyer is the big winner at Folding Warehouse. They have multiple full bars. You want to eat, you're hungry, get your food delivered, bring some in with you. However you want to do it. Feel free to operate. It's your world down there at the Folding Warehouse. Get your fold on, and you can check out more at foldingwarehouse.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Did you know mortgage rates are still at generational lows? If you haven't refinanced your home loan yet, there's still time. Now is your second chance to refinance. You could lower your monthly payment, eliminate credit card debt, or even take cash out by using your home's equity. Call Hall Financial now to get started with your free 5-minute mortgage review. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Networks, just about 30 minutes past the hour. My name is Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the house.
His out.
Fish is in the bowl. Sawyer is in the booth. Lots of love for the Folding Warehouse, by the way, in our YouTube chat thread. Pull up on it if you get a chance. I'm telling you, all your friends, all your coworkers have done it. You should do it. To last night, Thursday Night Football, and we were talking about in the office after the show yesterday, and we didn't really break this thing down, and I'm not really going to break it down here tonight as well because I wasn't interested.
I wasn't either.
Thank you. Now, I was watching. I made an effort, through my travels and doing college basketball, hadn't been able to keep up with the Red Wings as of late. So I figured last night, all right, got a night off from having to work the other job and stuff like that. I'll pull up on the Wings game, fire up the Bally's app, flip it on. Ken Daniels, better than ESPN Plus, I've been told, right?
Yeah, well, you're right.
No, Ken Daniels is great.
Oh,
man.
No. The broadcast is entertaining with him and Ozzy traveling on the road and stuff like that. That's why you would listen to the game, watching the game.
Oh, you're talking about the game. Yeah. Couple of softies.
I turned it off.
Yeah.
But I turned it off. I mean, it's that inconsistency I'm talking about. And you find it more of the way that they play on the road and they get behind too early. And you keep doing that to yourself. You're not experienced enough to be able to bounce back out of it. So you're going to see them go, I predict you're going to see this. They're going to be a team of 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 win streaks, and then 2, 3, 4, because they got to nip this in the bud. It doesn't get any easier going into Colorado and stuff. So it's just disappointing. You know, nice to see Robbie Fabry put the puck in the net, but again, this is what makes them. You asked me after each game, that's not a playoff team that you watched last night, and I turned it off. I told Sawyer I got him on Halo by bringing it up last night. I was in a Red Dead Redemption 2 hole because nothing seemed to be entertaining. You mentioned the football game. That was gross. You know, other than Dalvin Cook, which, to Joink's point, how cool is that to be able to come back after being hurt? And thank goodness he wasn't here the week before against our Lions, because he did not look injured at all.
No, he did not. What was the final number?
222
and 2 touchdowns. That was the third most yards ever given up by the Pittsburgh Steelers rush defense.
In their history?
In the history.
Their history.
Number one, and anytime I get a chance to bring this guy up, I'm going to bring this guy up. Joik don't know about this guy, but Fred Taylor, number one all time in yards in a game against the Steelers. And you know what? And let me ask you this, Joik. Speaking of Fred Taylor, I've been dying to ask this question. I thought about that. I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness this morning, and I'm running. I can't wait to ask Joik this question. I'm all fired up about it.
Fired up.
Whatever happened to the running backs that wear the back pad? You remember how Fred Taylor used to have the pad that covered up the lower back?
The back flap?
The back flap, yeah. How come nobody does that anymore? That was like a staple of an SEC running back in the day.
That was college. That was college.
He wore it in the pros, though.
Earl Campbell's the one I remember. Very flopping around.
What happened to the back flap?
I don't know, man.
Did you ever have one?
Yeah, in college I did. When I got to NFL, it was just like, nah.
People make fun of you if you wore it?
No, not really. It just wasn't it anymore. I don't think it had anything to do with, I'm in the NFL, so I'm not going to wear it, but I just kind of got away from it. I didn't need it. I'm not, no point in time where I was really turning my back to the defense, going 100 miles per hour.
So why'd you wear it in college?
Because it was the style. It was dope.
Is that what it's like the Oakley visor back in the day?
Yeah, but that's necessary too, because it's a lot of things that go down
at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, at the bottom of the pile. There's a lot of things going on. So that you do that. I mean, so as far as my back, I never had any back issues. And so that I didn't need it. I didn't need it. So it was fun though. I mean, it was stylish.
That's what I'm saying.
You have your jersey and you have it up, around your kind of, you have your abs showing, and you have the back flap up, and you warm up like that because it's kind of dope. It's kind of cool. But that's that was the thing in college. When I got in the NFL, it was just like more so business.
Because Zeke Elliott, does he wear the back flap? I know he has the abs out, especially during warm-ups. And if I had abs like that, I would have them out even in my everyday life.
Do you remember when he swapped jerseys with one of his O-linemen, and his O-lineman came out with this with his upper over his stomach, kind of like how he would do his. But I don't think he wears a back flap, but had his stomach out and practiced the whole practice like that. It was pretty hilarious. We got to find that clip. But yeah, no, I just never had a use for it. But that is something that receivers used to use, running backs. I think even some DBs might have used it as well.
Machiavelli Sucks to Go says, why are the shoulder pads so small nowadays? That's a great question, too, Joik. Remember like Christian Okoye and those dudes?
I'm going to tell you this. Have you ever seen a movie, A Knight's Tale?
Yeah, a long time ago.
All right, so you remember how they would have all that big armor, and then the lady created the smaller armor, but it had just as much as protection as the bigger armor, and it was lighter, and you can move around a little bit better?
That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Yeah, it's more a lot of it too, because we used to mess around with to take in some even kicker shoulder pads, right, for the smaller ones of football. No, but I'm saying for hockey. Right, because Shannon used to wear his shoulder pads, the ones he had in Pee Wee, right, and they just most of it would be just redoctored and stuff like that. But to Joink's point, you got into more of a vest and stuff like this. You're talking about like armor, Thomas Holmstrom, right? You're talking about armor, backpack, that same one you're talking about, he wore it under his hockey gear, so he had everything.
Well, he had to because he got cross-checked in the back constantly.
Yes, and the best part is his shin pads, so down on his legs, he had back guards on it, like seriously plastic in the back, so when he got hit in the back of the calves, he had plastic there. His armor, it looked like, here it goes.
For those of you watching on YouTube, Sawyer's got the clip of the Dallas offensive line
coming out,
rolling out with the Zeke Elliott jersey on. His abs are a little different, though. We'll say it like that.
That's alumni Zeke Elliott.
The visor,
10 years.
You got the visor on too.
Easy.
Just for people to know. They were complaining because he came at the training camp like that, so they picked up a couple pounds.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but again, if I had abs like Zeke Elliott, I wouldn't wear a shirt in real life. Like I'd be in this studio right now.
If you guys see the quarterback right there throwing, if you rewind it back just a little bit, about 10, 15 seconds real quick.
Who was it?
Right here, throwing the ball. You see 17. You guys know what that is? Play for the Lions. Play for the Lions.
Kellen Moore?
Kellen Moore.
Oh, is it?
Kellen Moore.
Yeah, that's their offensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator now for the Cowboys. When I tell you, me and Kellen Moore used to make magic in preseason. I have to give it to Kellen, man. Kellen is probably one of the reasons why I was able to make the team, because he used to feed me the ball. He used to feed it to me. And he was just didn't have a strong arm, but was very accurate, was very, very smart, very intelligent. And you know who got him down there to the Cowboys? He said that he was one of the smartest quarterbacks he's ever coached. Was Scott Linehan. And so when Scott Linehan used to be the offensive coordinator down there, then he brought him down there as quarterback, and I guess he must have took over when Scott left. But
he did.
Yeah, smart guy, smart kid. I got to get him on the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our guy Easy on a YouTube chat thread says Kenneth Walker wears one. I know that. I'm happy to see the back flap, and Fred Taylor. I saw his name on there because he has the most rushing yards in a game against the Steelers. That's all I think about when I think about Fred Taylor's him wearing that back flap. Certainly with the Florida Gators, did it with Jacksonville as well. That guy could ball, man.
Hey, but before we cut out of here, all right, because I want to talk about this game a little bit more. If you wanted to cut out, what would you use?
No, don't use it anymore.
You don't use it anymore?
No. It'd be up to speed. I know if Maz would update and everybody was this, but that was gone at the end of the week.
But let me tell you what will be on this weekend. Detroit Lions pregame show. Woodward Sports has you covered. We'll be live at O'Toole's in Royal Oak, brought to you by Woodward Sports and Jose Cuervo. I will be out there. Braylon Edwards will be out there, so 2 Biletnikoff Award winners will be live from O'Toole's. Adam from the Morning Woodward Show, and Jade from WRIF, and more. And that'll be simulcast on Woodward Sports and 101.1 WRIF, again brought to you by Jose Cuervo. Fast forward to after the game, get down to the Brass Rail downtown. Stick and Anson will be broadcasting live after the Denver Broncos host your Detroit Lions on Sunday. They start streaming at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game. They get you the reaction, the crowd interaction, all of that. DJs, drinks, a Woodward Sports VIP section with food and more. Stop by after every Lions game, home or road, doesn't matter. Pull up on the Brass Rail. That's brought to you by Woodward Sports and Jim Beam. Every Lions game is at the Brass Rail, Detroit, for the postgame.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell in the captain's chair. Fish is in the bowl. Sawyer is in the booth. A big hello to everybody listening on radio, 93.5 The Roar, 99.1 FM, 94.7 HD2. Don't forget about the podcast page on iTunes as well, Big D Energy. Click subscribe. Goes right to your phone. It's very, very easy. Heard something you like, go back, listen to it again. So maybe something you don't like, fast forward it to the next topic. You can do whatever you want. You're in charge. If you're lazy like me, it's perfect because you don't have to do anything, and you get the show. Luke, Gino Johnson, Neal, all your smack talk on Michigan, yet your MSU Sparties aren't even a New Year's Six Bowl. Well, that's wrong on a couple fronts. Number one, Sparties are in a New Year's Six Bowl, correct? Like the Peach Bowl?
That's last time I looked, but my board considers. I thought you were a Grizzly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an
affiliate of.
I go where the check is, people.
That is the truth.
That
is absolutely number one. Bring
I'm
the
the only-
bag, bring the bag, or if you have fuel for the Range Rover. Either or.
It's got to be premium, though.
Premium. No, it's the high test.
So YT Sparty let them know Spartans are in a New Year's Six Bowl. But, it's I don't get it. And for Michigan, again, that's why this is going to be important. We'll get into this more as the game gets closer, but that's why it's important to do something with the opportunity, because to me, if you lose that Georgia game, you're 1-2 this year against teams with a pulse.
Yeah, but
you are.
But you've put yourself in that position.
But you put yourself in that position, and that is fair. That's fair. But that's what the bottom line is.
But this is where you're supposed to be. This is where you've told me you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to hang out every year, battling for a Big Ten championship. And I know whatever reason, but so finish it off.
Yeah,
go.
But that plays into my point, and that's not smack talk. That's when you get to this point, the stakes change. And you're playing for all the chips in the middle of the table, because that's the nature of a playoff. And does it render the rest of the bowls, quote-unquote, meaningless? Yeah, that parlayed with guys that won't play and stuff like that. That's where we are right now with college football. When you get to the championship games, that renders the rest of the stuff meaningless. That's just a byproduct of it all. But we'll get into more of it as it goes on and on and on. We were just talking about back flaps and stuff like that, but Dalvin Cook did cook the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know Ben brought him back and stuff like that, but it's over. It is. I know he brought him back and all that kind of stuff, but for me,
it's been over. You know what? The first half of this game, I actually turned the game off. This game actually ended closer than what I thought it would end. And even right here, they had the opportunity to go into overtime, literally dropped the game-tying touchdown. They still would have had to get the extra, the 2-point conversion, but still, with that being said, you have to make that catch. You have to bring that catch in.
No doubt.
There's no reason.
And it was a great throw by Ben. Don't get me wrong.
It was a great throw. Ben showed a flash of his former self. The first half, I don't know what we were looking at. I turned the game off. I think when they got down,
I never turned it on.
When they got down by 22, 23 points, I turned the game off. And I woke up this morning and I saw they only lost by a touchdown. I said, "Oh, they came back. They turned it up." I mean, they couldn't stop Dalvin Cook. You had Justin Jefferson being himself.
That guy's a freak, man. It's too bad he's in Minnesota, because you saw the Minnesota Vikings. You saw all the franchise in 60 minutes yesterday. That game was so Minnesota Vikings.
That was. Get up, good talented, be blowing out the doors, and then let them come
and then
back,
crumble,
and then crumble
and
at the
barely
end.
hold on because somebody dropped the ball, not even because you made a play, just because somebody dropped the ball. And who was it? I don't know if we have the Chase Claypool play.
Osborne? Osborne bought. He had more yards than. Even this 60-some yard touchdown. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was a push off right there. I'm not gonna lie. They didn't call it, so it counts. But he had 3 catches for 83 yards. He bought out. Jefferson had 7 catches for another almost right under 80 yards with 79. Then you had Dalvin Cook, who's just cooking everyone. And the reason they're able to go over the top like that is because a guy like Dalvin Cook coming back, 27 carries, 205 yards, averaging 7.6 yards a carry with 2 tutties.
No, it was strong.
He's a freak. He started off the game strong. His first carry, I believe, was explosive. He had them all throughout the game.
Yeah, he's a beast. There is no question. He's a beast. But Chase Claypool, and I saw some people talking about it on the televisions at the gym today. I obviously wasn't listening to it, but I saw them talking about it and bringing it up. And Joik, I don't know if you saw that play with inside the final minute. Chase Claypool. The Steelers out of timeouts. Makes a catch for a first down.
And
he's got to get up and point for the first down and all that stuff. Cost his team about 4 seconds. That didn't stop them from winning the game. You can talk about all that one. Well, we'll never know, Joik.
No, I mean, we're going to notice that. And I want to tell you, let me talk to you about football real quick.
Yeah.
And this goes for hockey, too. You're going to look at that play because that play is one of the defining moments coming down towards the end. But there were mistakes throughout the entire game to get into that position. Right? We can talk about that play, but we can also.
Here it is right here. Sawyer, good job. So he's got to get up.
First he's
got to hold the ball. And
it's not.
That's 4 to 5 seconds,
listen,
Joik. That's a play.
That does not matter because
Joik, it does matter because they get to run another play.
Can I talk?
No,
sure. And then I'll respond. Go ahead.
This goes to culture.
Replay the play again.
Please do.
Gets a first down.
All right.
One. The ref is not even there to give him the ball yet.
3.
The ref just comes in now.
5.
So you can't put the ball down until the ref gets there anyway.
8. I don't care. Here's the thing.
But what I'm telling you, let me get my point out.
Sure.
What I'm telling you is,
the ref
yes, he shouldn't do that. He shouldn't do that. You get up and you run the ball right back to that hash.
Give it to your center.
Right.
To the hash. The center just got there. He gave the ball to the center as soon as the center ran up.
Look,
and he's right next to the hash.
But if the center doesn't have to take it from him, it doesn't get dropped and moved over to the side. If he runs over and puts it over there, the ref's there.
Right,
you can't argue that.
I'm not arguing. I'm saying he's already on the hash. I'm saying, okay, but that's not that big of a moment to say, oh, he cost us the game.
Joik,
because even at the end of the game, he threw the ball into the end zone. They dropped the pass.
Right.
So,
but they would have had another play because the pass would have been incomplete. There'd still be another 6 seconds on the clock.
To me, it's about discipline. And it's about the kink in the armor, about what's coming out. Like this, that isn't the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's Lions stuff. That's loser mentality stuff. Because it doesn't matter if you can spit.
It's that Lions stuff.
What?
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
That's stuff that losers do. Because it's culture. Because if you're going to win the game,
you tell me a Lions play that did that. Tell me a Lion play that did that. Lions don't do that.
Lions don't do that. They've never done something like that before. A player. Yeah. What you're talking about that. What do you say?
I'll give you one, D-Mac. I'll give you one then. And this wasn't for me.
Let me finish my point.
Yeah.
My point is that goes to culture, locker room, the mix in the Big Ben and Tomlin and stuff like this because a young guy or whatever that the number one thing isn't about the first down or whatever. You got to go win the game, get up to the game, right? Yeah. The game's the most important part. So to your point, that few seconds, no. But it's the compound thing. Everything we're seeing out of Pittsburgh, this goes to show me, it's not the same Pittsburgh. Just the little things like this, the discipline. Yes, it's Lions stuff. Lions mentality joint, right, is to shoot yourself in the foot and do something like that. Right, which has to change. Now, I haven't seen that maybe this year or whatever, and maybe that's...
Well, here's D-Mac. Here's something that kind of fuels this, and this comes from Psalms on our YouTube chat thread. Chase also got a personal foul for sticking his finger in a Vikings helmet. That was earlier in that game. That is something.
So it's the
stupid
same
penalties.
Thing. It's compounding.
That's the culture aspect.
When I look at that game and I go, they're rushing and they got no timeouts and they got to do this, and I don't care what team it is, but there's any disassociation to the fact that a guy grabs it. Look at our guys, right? To your point, Joik, look at when we came back against Minnesota, right? Guys running out of bounds, guys first down, St. Brown, young guys, drop the ball, this, that. There was never anything like this, right? The fact that you mentioned this is the kink in the armor of what we're seeing of why Pittsburgh isn't the old Pittsburgh, because the discipline's not there. To me, the eyeball test.
I agree with that, but that's what I'm saying. When you say that's Detroit Lions stuff, I'm just saying this year we have not seen that from the players.
This is Detroit Lions stuff of the past that has
the past
not successful. The Roy Williams, the different, like, just remind stuff when you do stuff like this. It reminds me of
PTSD.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, PTSD. Then PTSD.
I do.
As a fan.
I do.
Okay.
I got a lot of it.
But when I was there, we didn't do that.
But when I see that, right, to me, that's not a winning team. And that's not discipline. And when I see it from Pittsburgh, that's supposed to be Mike Tomlin, stoic, this, Big Ben, and the way the Rooneys and the way that it's supposed to be done. Well, that goes to show you if their star player in Claypool gets away with that, then it's not the way that it used to be there. Does that make sense? Like, you don't have time for that, especially when you're from behind. That means player's bigger than the team. And you bring up a point that he got a personal foul earlier, then it's specific player.
You better believe they're in that meeting room, right? They're going to be in that meeting room today chewing his butt out. Chewing it out.
But as they should, because and look, Joy, did that play cost him the game? We'll never know, Joy, because they would have had another play. Maybe they score on the next play. But we'll never know. Because they wasted 7 seconds.
It was that 7 seconds is
the difference of getting another play or not. You can't argue that, Joy.
It wasn't 7 seconds because that play happened down the field, so you got to give them time to get down the field. So even if he caught the ball and ran into the middle, that's still going to be 4 seconds. But then the
center's not running over to get it from him because he's acting like a fool. See, Joy,
hold on, stop, pause it right here, pause it. What does he have to run the ball to?
Okay, hold on. Let it keep going. He's got to take it to the hash and spot it.
He's right next to the hash.
Right.
So where's he running to?
Okay, so look. So the center's got to come over. So then it gets knocked out of his hands and it rolls away because he's fooling around with the ball. If he goes and sets it on the hash, the ref's there. They spot it, they go. There's at least 5 seconds, man. At least.
What I say is we count from the time he knocks it out of his hand, not from the time he gets tackled.
Then that's fine. That's still 5 seconds. Let's go through it. Center comes over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And that's not his fault.
7,
they knocked it out of his hand.
8. Yes, it is because he's goofing around with it, Joik.
If you just
you cannot defend this, dude.
I
cannot
defend it. That's bad.
All right, thank you.
That's bad football. That's bad. That's bad football. I want to argue.
He fought the good.
That's horrible football. That's bad football.
Here's my thing. He's going to die on a hill that it's not even a running back. He's dying on a receiver's hill. That's what I was saying.
I'm trying to help him out, but God, you have to get up. Y'all work on that in practice. This is football 101. Anytime you run a 2-minute offense, you get up and you run the ball back and you spot it yourself. Do not throw it to a ref because even your coach will tell you the ref are athletes. So if you toss the ball to them and they drop it, that's another 2 or 3 seconds of them trying to get the ball and fumble with it and get it down and run out. You run it, you set it down. It's bad football.
You guys know how I roll too, right? Time is your only commodity in that situation. It's the only thing you have.
Time is the only thing in life.
Time is the only thing in life. Time is your only commodity in that situation. It's your only hope to win the football game, and you wasted it. And you wasted it by fooling around. You can't argue that. Joik tried his best, but even Joik knew in the end that he was wrong. But let me tell you what's right. Gypsy vodka is right, at least to me anyway. Gluten-free. It's Michigan's vodka out of Petoskey. 50 different formulas. Countless taste tests, which next time they should holler at me and get me involved in those situations. But we'll leave that alone. We believe Gypsy's the best tasting smoothest vodka on the market. Is gluten-free, as I said. Corn distilled 6 times. So, hey, there's a bit of a health angle for it there, too. At least that's how I defend it. They use artesian spring water. Support local guys from the state of Michigan. As I said, Petoskey's own Gypsy Vodka. Try a bottle today. Ask for it by name. As always, drink responsibly.
It's that time of the year again. Time for our second annual Stuff a Studio with Woodward Sports. Last year, Metro Detroit came together to help make the largest single toy donation in Mott Children's Hospital history. This year, we make it even bigger. Stuff a Studio is happening December 13th through the 17th at the Woodward Sports Studios in Birmingham. The children in Mott Children's Hospital fight so hard all year. Now it's up to all of us to help bring a smile to their faces. So while you're out holiday shopping, make sure you pick up an extra toy or two and help us spread some love to Metro Detroit this season. We look forward to seeing you December 13th through the 17th as we stuff our studio with Woodward Sports and Myre.
Woodward Sports Network, let's go!
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy pulling up on the second hour of the show on a Friday. We are cruising right along. YouTube chat thread. AC says, WMU, Reed and Thorne chose MSU over Western Michigan because they know WMU is a garbage, irrelevant school, LOL. I disagree with that, man. They made it to a Cotton Bowl not too long ago against Wisconsin. You know, we talk about those New Year's Six Bowls. They were in that before. And look at the line up Western's budget against Michigan State's budget. and then tell me what they've produced. See, that's my whole argument, too, about like the Oaklands of the world and stuff like that. Like, their budget's like 1/10 of Michigan State's budget in basketball. And that's, that's how stuff works, by money.
Follow the money.
Follow the money. So it's a garbage, irrelevant school. That's a little strong, AC. They've accomplished plenty, I would say. And they put a lot of guys in the league, too, at Western Michigan. First-round draft picks. That's what I've always said about Central, too. Actually, like if you wanted to say Central underachieves, I would agree with that to some degree, based on the talent that they have in the NFL. Like, they got dudes in the NFL.
They got dudes. A lot of receivers come out of there.
Yeah. So, if you wanted to make that case, I'll ride with you on that. But I think Western's pretty good for the amount of budget and everything that they have going on with that. But speaking of big budgets, Aiden Huchinson's budget's going to be a lot bigger come April as he stands to go very high in the NFL draft, won the Lombardi Award, and he was on ESPN Houston, the Wheelhouse, as they call it. And there's a picture for those of you watching on YouTube of him with the Lombardi Award. So Aiden, much like myself, taking away some college football hardware this year. But Aiden Hutchinson went on the Wheelhouse in Houston, and they asked him about playing for the Lions or playing for the Texans. And I want you guys to hear this, and I want you to go ahead and fire away kind of your thoughts, at least what your initial reactions are when you hear Aiden Hutchinson on ESPN Houston.
Yeah, it would definitely be cool to be in Houston. I got a bunch of family here, like I said earlier, and my dad's from here, so it would be nice, and, we'll see. Yeah.
And look, that's what guys are supposed to say. And there was other sound of him talking about, if the Lions, with the Lions drafting him, there was some other sound that made the rounds on social media as well.
What was it?
He didn't sound as convincing.
No, so
about the Lions.
It was a never really grew up. I grew up a Patriots fan.
Right.
Didn't really much love the Lions, but hey, if they pick me up, man, they gonna get it all. The thing is this: at this point he just wants to play. And
right.
he knows he's going to get paid wherever he goes. If he plays here, he plays here. I don't think him going to a certain city or a certain team is going to dictate his production. I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I think wherever he goes, they're going to love him. A lovable guy.
Yeah, he said he was a Patriots fan growing up and wasn't really much of a lot. But that goes back into the discussion we had yesterday about my middle son. He has no concept of the Detroit Lions. None. And that's with me taking him to games.
And that could be his dad,
that.
too. His dad played with Tom Brady.
Right.
And so
there's that angle, too.
Yeah, that angle as well. His father probably supported.
Kids like winners.
Yeah, and that's where it is, too. Like, I talked to you, my middle son is a Seahawks fan. And they were going through their run.
Like in 12 and 13, those years.
Yeah, he was like 6 and 7 years old. Yeah, Legion of Boom stuff.
Legion of Boom stuff.
And the colors are cool, like we talked about yesterday, which they are.
They are.
The games are cool on TV. The crowd's really loud and all that stuff. So, I think there is a degree of that, and I can't speak for Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe when we get him on the show here, I'll ask him about that. If the Lions were better, would you maybe have been a bigger fan? And he'll do the proper response. He'll say, "Oh, I'm just happy with wherever I go. I just want to play football." Like you say, and that's what they're supposed to do. But I bet deep down, it's kind of similar. I bet if the Lions were winning Super Bowls when he was growing up, I bet they'd be more on the map with him. I bet. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, I think you're definitely right. How could you not be? It's the same sort of reason as the mess with the kids being Red Wing fans. It's tough to go through, from 2012, 13 to 2020 if you're in that wheelhouse age. So it's interesting now. You got to bring it back, but no, I think George nails it. What you hear there is a kid who's appreciative but just wants to play, no matter where it is, and the excitement, and that's what you want. It's the same sort of. He reminds me of like T.J. Watt's mentality, right? When you hear T.J. Watt talk football, he just wants to go get the quarterback. That's what this kid just wants to go eat.
Who was at Central, by the way?
There you go. There you go.
JJ Watt was at Central.
Did you like that segue? Right back to you.
No, but and AC says that's because they play more national television games, and that's true too. And you're on national TV because you're
good, great,
because people want to
And you have to Joink's point, the fact that you brought up that his dad, Chris Huchinson, who had sacks and records and stuff at Michigan and was around Tom Brady, and those relationships.
I'll cut everybody off. Steve Hutchinson. I'll cut everybody off right there.
Thank you.
Just wanted to jump in before the chatters.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I was thinking of his brother, Chris. Anyways, the fact that goes into it, right? When you're around that and you watch it and you know the person, then you can watch and there's something to that mentality, whether being from the Michigan but having the New England, being a fan of the team. I mean, Joy, who is your favorite?
I mean,
who was your favorite team growing up?
I didn't have a favorite team. I had favorite players.
Who's your favorite player?
And then, and for football, it was obviously Barry, and he was in Michigan, so
But you wouldn't be comparable. You wouldn't compare yourself to Barry. Who is your comparable, right? Like, yeah, I mean, I wanted to be Wayne Gretzky, but Rick Tocchet was my guy because he could fight. Score.
I never did that.
You didn't do that?
I never did that.
You strike me as the kind of dude that you wouldn't follow like that. That you just be you.
Yeah.
You just be Joy.
Yeah, I never even thought about that per se when I was playing.
You just thought about having the back flap and your abs
Except for in college, when I got to college, my favorite player at the time was actually Reggie. And I would watch some of his highlights before our game. All right, I would watch some of his highlights, kind of hype me up. But like, I knew I wasn't as fast as Reggie. I knew I wasn't as quick as Reggie. But you know, I was still able to go out there and make plays, and certain plays that were eye popping. But to go back to what you were talking about how kids want to follow winners and they want to be a part of that winning culture. You look at the Lions, and yeah, we didn't have that winning culture back then. But if you look at it, if Aiden Hutchinson is from the area and say we were winning, do you think he would want to come here? I don't know. I know my son is like that, but we talk about running backs and how we'll talk about running backs when they're doing well. When they start to fall off and they kind of fizzle out. With NFL teams, it's almost similar, but it's not about a team being hurt. You look at their record, and if they're not winning, it kind of has that same domino effect. People stop talking about you, right? And so if you were, a kid growing up when Aiden Hutchinson did, at the time, the Patriots were always winning. His dad played with the quarterback, probably good friends with him, and that's what I'm going for because that's a winning organization. I was a Patriot fan, and that could be his his angle on why he grew up a Patriots fan. So, just my thoughts.
Question got asked on the YouTube chat thread, too. How many local kids grow up as Lions fans here in Michigan, honestly? My middle son is not. The Lions are dead to him. And that's not. I try to facilitate that. I take him to games and stuff like that. I do, but then he always asks, when are the Seahawks playing? When are the Seahawks coming to play? And I try to push him towards that. I know I'm a bad parent.
Did you bring him to the Lions Seahawks game when they played here in 2012?
No, he was young. He was like 3 then. So that was a little young.
That's the one time we beat them. We beat one of the one games we won out of that year, and they went on. Did they win it that year?
Was that 14? 14? That might have been 15 that they won it, right? When they destroyed Peyton Manning.
But they also they lost to the Patriots.
They lost to the Patriots, yeah.
Yeah. But that's when they started to become.
Yeah, they were a factor.
Yeah, that's when they started to become like that team. That team.
I think that Boom.
The Legion of Boom. Because the Legion of Boom came in 2010 or 11.
Right. And then it just kind of rolled through. And here we go. I'm wearing it right now. Tried for a while. Child abuse, Neal. Child abuse. Hey, I'm sorry. Like that's how I operate. I told you guys this yesterday when we were having this discussion. Like I can't just go root for another team at this point. I'm too far in.
You're too far in.
There's no saving me. It's terminal.
Too far to be removed.
Yeah, it's terminal. My oldest son likes the Lions. He does. He got his first taste in that Falcons game when all of a sudden the refs popped up and said, "No, you guys lost." Remember that one? Like he jumped up out of his couch and he was excited and everything.
Hold up, what game are you talking about?
That was the Julio Jones game or whatever. Like the end of the game against the Falcons. Where
is this London game?
It was the 10-second runoff.
The 10-second runoff game, exactly. Where he jumped up and he said, "We won, Dad." And I was like, well, I know better. I'm like, son, hold on. Let's just wait and see
Yeah,
here.
they said it was down short, and then because the Lions had no timeouts and inside 10 seconds, 10-second runoff, so the game was over, people went crazy, and they said we're cursed and all that.
I do remember that game.
Yeah.
Also, I thought you were talking about the Falcons game when we played in London, and then we kicked the field goal as time was expiring, and we missed. Matt Prater missed it, but they blew the whistle and let us re-kick it because it was a delayed game.
No, the one where they lost, where on the 10-second runoff. So he jumped up and thought they won, and then he started crying after he found out that they lost. And I was like, son,
welcome to Detroit.
Was that the catch? Who caught that pass?
Was that Golden Tate?
Golden Tate.
Yeah,
I think it was Golden Tate.
Golden Tate caught that one.
I remember
and
that.
I looked him right in the eyes and I said, son, welcome to being a Lions
to Detroit.
fan. And then I just sat there like, this is it. As good as it's going to get, my friend. So, again, though, I'm kind of the weird dad that wants those things to happen to him, though.
Well, you have to because it's life.
That's life,
right?
man.
It's life.
You're going to lose more than you win.
Early age. Learns it at an early age. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're hot or you're cold, right?
It doesn't matter. You know why?
No, why?
Because you can always start a new career in the industry that is always essential. The heating and cooling industry. To learn more about it today, go to northwesterntech.edu. I'm Drake Bill, Neal Rule, D Mac, and this is Big D Energy. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. One mortgage myth we hear all the time is having to choose between a 15 or a 30-year fixed term. At Hall Financial, we offer the modern mortgage to create a flexible term that fits your unique financial situation. Our team of mortgage experts are available 7 days a week to review your goals and customize a solution for you. Get started today with a free 5-minute mortgage review at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
No off season for us. We're talking sports 365. Detroit Sports Network. Woodward Sports.
Back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Rule, Joy Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Fish, and Sawyer. Here also, Mickey Lum Phelps says, your son's a bandwagon fan. You know what, though? Here's where I don't crush him on it. What reason does he have?
Right.
And we've flipped the script now. We've become a consumer-based society in all facets, in everything we do, where if we don't like something, we complain about it. If we don't like something, we turn into a-holes about it. Obviously, he's not like that, but there's no payoff, so therefore he doesn't invest his time or his emotion.
So he's lucky.
He got
a lot
easy.
of us, and I read this in the chat that if we did not see Barry Sanders play or Calvin Johnson, stuff like this, it's tough. Right, to be a Lions fan, that sort of hooks us in, this older generation, and as their Lion fandom. But you tell the kids, because when you ask us, well, why? And there's no reason for them to be yet. Hopefully, we're building something here. It's the same sort of thing. But, yeah, results-based, and more so, I asked you, because somebody asked in the thread, well, did you have a second team? I had second teams all over the place, right?
Yeah. See, I don't really. I did in the early '90s when I was younger, like when I was a kid.
In my younger days.
Yeah. In the early '90s, I did. I loved the Atlanta Falcons when they had Deion Sanders, because that was about when I first started watching college football. It was right about the time Deion Sanders and Barry and all those guys were coming out, and the Atlanta Falcons were my B team because I loved Deion, man. Deion was a guy because he was so entertaining. So that 91 Falcons team was one of my favorite teams of all time. And as I got older, I even appreciated Deion more. Next Friday, I'll wear the Deion vintage T-shirt. Today I got the USFL. Next Friday, I'll wear the Deion Sanders. That was my guy. I mean, and he, as I got older, I even appreciated him more, Joik, because he talked about the fact how he noticed that his position was one of the lowest paid positions in the NFL, and he wanted to change that. So he made the show. He created the primetime thing. He made the whole thing out of thin air and marketed it and got himself to be such a high draft pick and put the show on, because he never did that for baseball. He said to this day he will not sign a baseball primetime. He said, because in baseball I was Deion. but in football I was prime time. And I loved that, even as I got older. And just how he could flip a game and how he could lock down a whole field and how he came into Atlanta.
70% of the world is covered by water. The other 30% by me.
Yeah, like all those kinds of. If the Detroit Lions would have drafted me, I would have asked for so much money they'd have to put me in layaway.
Put me in layaway.
But that's why I liked him. I liked the show. I liked the entertainment. And the Falcons too. They ran the run and shoot. Like they were as close to a college team as I had seen in the NFL, and probably will ever see again. How they ran the 4 wide and the 5 wide, and they were, they were slinging it around the field, and Bobby Hebert and all those guys. Like I loved them.
Yeah. Herman, hey Moore, hey, is this a run? Run me off. Hey, dude, is this a run? Herman up there, man, shut up, man, shut up. But hey, business decisions, man, business decisions.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, but no, I did, and that was as close as I ever came to a Team B. Was that Falcons team, and that was really it though. Once Deion left Atlanta, I was out. And
did you follow him like Dallas?
I followed him.
Did you become a Dallas fan?
No, I never.
And they put
because I hated Emmitt Smith because I was a Barry fan. You know what I'm saying? Like I liked Deion, and I would watch the Cowboy games because of Deion. But I only wanted to watch Deion play, and that really turned into me because Barry Bonds is my favorite baseball player ever.
Who was the quarterback? Was that
for who?
When Deion was there.
For
the Cowboys.
For the Cowboys, that was Troy Aikman.
That was Aikman.
That was Troy Aikman.
And so I think I saw a clip where they were doing like a story on the Cowboys. It was on Deion, and I think that's when Deion was playing both sides of the ball. He was offense and defense. They put him in wide receiver. And they gave him a go route. And Aikman overthrew Deion. And so he comes back to the sideline, and the coach said, hey, you put a little bit too much on him, man. You outthrew Deion. He said, why do you do that? He said, I didn't know I can outthrow Deion. I didn't know I could outthrow him.
No, but he was. He was a lot of fun. Robert Colosia says Jerry Glanville was hysterical, too. And Jerry Glanville was a character. He used to leave tickets for Elvis at every Falcons game at the ticket office. He said when Elvis comes back, he didn't think Elvis was dead, and he thought when he came back he would come to an Atlanta Falcons game. And, just all that. They were so entertaining. They had Andre Rison on that team as well. I mean, they just had a ton of characters.
Andre Rison.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Michigan State.
Well, I'm saying what city?
Flint, right?
From Flint.
Yeah.
Flint Nasty.
Yep.
Yeah, he's from Flint. Yeah.
So they were just like the circus was a lot of fun, and I'm a big circus guy, right? Like I told you guys, I went to the Dolphins game when I was down in Miami when Antonio Brown was his first game with the Patriots, and I had to be there for it. I like the circus,
Listen to the ribbons and so that's who he dated, though, right?
Yeah, Left Eye from TLC.
He burned his house down. He burned his house down. I mean, come on. Yeah. That was Bad Moon Rising right there.
Yeah. MPWMU, Glanville was a Detroit guy, and he was. And, the whole thing was just a ton of fun, man. So I did follow Deion as he went to San Francisco, and I did like that I like Steve Young's 49ers more than I like Joe Montana's 49ers.
I was a Steve Young fan.
Yeah, so I did like that, but I was never a 49ers fan. I was never a Cowboys fan. And then, by the time Deion went to Washington, it was pretty clearly over. So I didn't, that was about when I tapped out. You don't have the
Washington jersey? You got all the rest of them?
No, I don't have any of those.
So
I would wear a Falcons jersey. I would wear a Falcons primetime jersey, though. I would.
So he went to Washington. Was Green there, too?
I can't remember if Dale Green was still there or not, or if he had retired by that time.
I mean, he played a long time. He played
a ton of time. But yeah, so that was it. That was about the extent of my Team B stuff. As I've gotten older and being in sports, I find myself rooting for guys that I worked with, like guys that were at Oakland or NBA guys that I've been around that were cool or stuff like that. Like I find myself rooting for those teams. Like Mike Brasso played baseball at Oakland, so therefore I was a Rays fan. Now he got traded to the Brewers. So now I'll watch Brewers games. Steve Clark's playing in the MLS Cup this weekend, playing for an MLS championship. He's the starting goalkeeper for the Portland Timbers of the MLS. So I've certainly always been a Timbers fan. He was at Columbus before. So a big shout out to Steve Clark, man. Get it done. We got to get when they win. I'll get him on the show next week.
Awesome.
We'll have to do that.
You know what else? I mean, it's funny. That's why they come out with fantasy football because it kind of gravitates people towards
fandom of
players, right? And so, like you said, as you got older, you're still a Lions fan, but now you see yourself going for specific players that you might have worked with. And for me, I root for my teammates that I played with. I want them to do well. So a lot of people feel that same way, that same type of energy, and so they go on to fantasy football, and that's another way to draw in more fans. So it's kind of dope, man, how they are genius with recruiting and marketing this league. And this is probably why we're the biggest league or the biggest professional team or organization in all the U.S.
I think that's kind of why the NBA has risen to. I think if you talk to younger people, I think that's why the NBA's risen to number 2 now, because they strictly market the players.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give you a perfect example. You remember back, probably when I played, or a little bit before when I played, when guys would celebrate after they scored a touchdown or something, and it used to be, "That's not how the game is played. Give the ball back to the ref. Showboating. That's not for this game." You don't hear that anymore.
No, then everything's they let them script.
And you know why? Because the younger generation is coming up, and you don't hear that like you used to hear it.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I used to love to watch Cincinnati and Ocho Cinco. I wanted him to score because you want to see what he was going to do.
When Joe Horn pulled out the cell phone, all that stuff was awesome.
Randy Moss, pants down.
Yeah. No, it was great. Robert says it's great that Ryzen's name gets mentioned and the room blows up instantaneously with Left Eye stuff. LOL. Then Rob J says, R.I.P. Left Eye, and certainly rest in peace, Left Eye. Hey, great group, made some bangers, no doubt about it.
Still banging,
no question, man.
No scrub.
That's their best song. Like everyone, like Waterfalls. Everyone says Waterfalls. But No Scrubs is one, no doubt.
That's a vibe.
You would be a T-Boz kind of guy.
That's it.
Say what?
I said I'm a T-Boz guy.
T-Boz?
Yeah, that's my
girl.
I'm
a chili.
Yeah, I like chili more,
I like
too.
chili. I like chili.
I did, too.
Chili was me. What up, chili?
Steve Brown says Billy White Shoes Johnson was the best. Yeah, and they were. They were. I like the entertainment, man, and that's really the way that I broke out towards that. So, the whole Team B thing, I don't really have one. I'm just the Detroit teams, but that's about
true.
the extent of it. Who was your Team B, D-Mac?
Edmonton.
Yeah, well, you know what? It had become. But it's only because of Connor McDavid. And when he gets traded, then I'll be out of Edmonton again.
Well, that was Gretzky back in the day and stuff like this, because the Wings were the dead Wings. And until it got to like the late 80s when the conference finals, when the Wings,
you could tell they were knocking on the door.
Where they were getting there, and that's the fact where it was, okay, this is getting better, where your team can actually compete. Because sometimes it's like, you're going to take your second team no matter what sport it is because your team wants to get up. In our household, being the baseball, my son, right? Obviously, we're Tigers fans, but he's a huge Red Sox fan. Obviously, Jason Varitek back in the day, and all those championships and stuff like that. So I think a lot of times kids, are drawn to winners. And like you said, you look at the way that the different leagues are displayed. In the NFL, you get the individual stuff more because of fantasy football, and guys get to know. In the NBA, there's 12 guys. They strictly focus on the players, right? More so you don't get that in the hockey as much. And baseball, for like you're talking about the Mike Trouts and the guys who are the heads of it, they really don't market them as well, right?
No,
so
never understood it.
No, and so that's just the way it is. So I guess we should have, your son in here, and we should have somebody under 10, somebody between 10 and 20, somebody between
maybe over the holiday break I'll bring them in studio.
No, we should to understand, because that's really the only way is to ask some of these kids, why is it that way? And because here's the big thing too, when we were younger, we only had these few teams that we could watch on TV. Maybe on a Saturday on ABC you could see, or Sunday, the NFL CBS game or whatever like that, you could watch it. Now they can watch anybody. If they want to be like Fish and a fan of somebody in New Zealand to watch it at 3 a.m., they can tape it and watch all that stuff. So it doesn't,
Or they could watch it while they're getting a haircut.
You know what? You could actually do that, because here's the best way to double dip, guys. Let's be honest. We like things simple. Football, 4, 5, 6, 7 days a week, no matter who you're cheering for. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Just like Neal said, you could sit in Lady Jane's where you sign in, you sit down, you get ready. There's a TV right in the mirror. You can get your haircut all lovely while you watch your favorite sporting event. At the end of it, you're handsome and clean and ready to go. So all you have to do is get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. You walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Neal Rule, Joint Bell, D-Mac, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Listen Monday through Friday for Big D Energy Live on the Woodward Sports Network with Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty, former Lion Joik Bell, and the silky voice of Neal Rule.
Back out of here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We're just wrapping on a Friday, getting you through the week. Red Wings lose yesterday to St. Louis by the score of 6-2, and couple of real soft goals. I mean, those first 2 goals by St. Louis, D-Mac, were soft.
2 different teams. The road team, you know, like the road team, and to be able to play in this league and to be a legitimate playoff contender, I'll sit here and say it, is that let's get that road game going. It doesn't get any easier. So as well as you play at home in front of the fans, it's great to see. You're sort of shooting yourself in the foot, right? Just spinning your tires. So there's definitely 2 different teams right now.
It's funny, too. The TLC lines are coming in the YouTube chat. There are Mickey Lum Phelps, also known as a Busta. Detroit Dabber 313. So I creep, yeah, just creeping on the dot. So it's funny to hear the lyrics come through. But yeah, Red Wings, it was an ugly one yesterday. They were never really in that game. And I told you guys, I made it a point to not watch the Steelers and the Vikings because I'm not interested in watching the Vikings play, because you can't. And I wasn't really interested in watching the Steelers either. You can't sell me the one team that the 2 teams that the Lions are undefeated against. I'm not watching them play in prime time.
How about that? Right, going into the game,
Lions undefeated against those 2 teams.
Undefeated, and if you look to it, look what Minnesota did. They learned from their mistake, and they didn't let the last second touchdown go. Woo!
Pittsburgh did their best to make sure that they didn't.
Hey, listen, I'm more mobile than Ben, I think. Ooh, that's ugly.
He ran for 1 first down yesterday.
Yeah, but how long did that take?
You know what Ben is like? Ben's one of those dudes that the second he stops playing, he's gonna look like Jared Lorenzen like the next day, you know. But he'll be the kind of dude though. If you take him to Folding Warehouse, he'll like knock down all the pins in like 2 throws.
No, he'll hit that one in the middle and knock the one out that makes it a game.
Yeah, he'll make like a 7-10 split with a football at Folding. You know, like he'll always have that. Like that last throw.
Have you ever seen a strike in Folding? Have you ever seen that?
Not that I remember. That's a big ask with a football, man. With the football and those bowling pins. But like Ben will still be that, right? Like he'll be 50 and he'll show up at Folding and he'll hit that last pin and the pin will explode.
Here it is, right here. Here's Ben Roethlisberger walking in. Give me my $2. What I get, it don't matter. He's sitting over there. He's standing there. Ben, your turn. Give me the ball.
He'll never put the beer down.
No, never put the beer down, and never like, you know, you and I are like getting ready to throw. Like he just give me the ball. Boom, knock, knock, knock. So, yeah, maybe that's he's got another career, but he's to me. But here's the whole question too. If we're going to talk about this game, Pittsburgh's in trouble. Like, as far as moving forward.
No, they are.
Like as far as moving forward, as far as quarterback, moving forward, as far as, like, I'm talking about earlier with the little things, the Claypool things, the little things. And to Joyce's point about the little things, Cindy's right. You know what? For me to say that's Detroit Lions, that's what Claypool did. No, we haven't done that. So this regime, because that's the respect and the things that we saw. So no, that's the new attitude. Those are the little things you can look for. That's the little things you look for in a team like Pittsburgh, or that's like the Patriots doing something so non-Patriot, right? Because that was non-Pittsburgh. And I think that's why it sort of upset me, because that's when you're trying to win championships or trying to get to, you can see them coming backwards. Pittsburgh's going backwards, right? If Detroit's trying to move forward, Pittsburgh's in trouble, and you might see that. And saying that, though, is Mike Tomlin ever in jeopardy of losing that job?
No, I don't. I mean, there'll come a time where, because it is the NFL, and I did forget, the Lions did play the Vikings earlier this year and lost. So 1-1-1 against the Vikings and the Steelers. A non-losing record. All right, let me rephrase. I'm not watching two teams that the Lions have a non-losing record against. Is that fair?
Good statement.
That's a good, sir. That's it. On the spot. That's pretty impressive.
That is so on point. On brand.
That's how you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you get paid the big bucks.
That's exactly why. I like this. I love bowl games. Oh, there was one other hockey thing I wanted to clean up. The Arizona Coyotes, by the way, have finally paid the $1.3 million that they owed the city. They were going to get locked out of their arena.
They were literally had the eviction notice on the door, I think.
They had some overdue bills with the city of Glendale, it was. So they were going to get locked out of their arena if they didn't get caught up. They put out a statement saying, it was human error, and, it's very unfortunate, and we'll make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. We'll get it current tomorrow. And they squared it up. So they're going to be able to continue playing. I always did like the Coyotes, though.
I like them downtown. Where they play now is in the middle of nowhere.
Weak. What do you got, Fish?
Just till the end of the year, right? And then their lease is up?
Yeah, something like that. There's some kind of crazy thing going on where I don't know what they're going to... They want to build a new arena in Tempe or so. They just keep moving arenas. And the bottom line is...
It's Arizona.
No but if they win, they'll go. D-Mac, you played them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That place was rocking, was it not?
When they had the whiteout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then that was downtown and stuff like that. It's sort of like the fickle market, but they haven't really had anybody there. It's just sort of been there, And I guess when you're looking for, you're right, Fish. There is up in the air because when it was the whiteout, it was downtown where the Phoenix Suns played, where all the hotels were, where it was more an event. Where they have it now, out where the Arizona Cardinals play, there's just these two stadiums
in a parking
and then
lot,
maybe
and that's it.
Parking lot, and then nothing out there. So
but people go to Cardinal games.
But even
there's only 8 of them.
But even that stadium is built weird. Like, have you been to that stadium?
I haven't been in there. We were going to go one year to the national championship game, but then the plans fell through.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it's weird. Like we go there on the bus and you get off and you walk inside of the arena and it's like this big open space and you have like a football field like in the middle, and then you have like the dome. It's weird the way that it's set up. It's just like a big building. They slapped the football field in the middle and the stands around it. It's weird, but I guess it works for them. And like it's like a aluminum around the entire building, like metal around the entire building. I guess that's for like the heat because it gets so hot, so it bounces off. I don't know, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. You guys know I'm a big college football bowl slappy. I'm also a potential playoff matchup slappy as well. So anytime I get the chance to look at the NFL playoff matchups, we're going to do it. Anything here kind of catching your eye other than the fact that the Patriots are the number 1 seed right now in the AFC? Buffalo is hanging on for dear life. Remember when they were crowned like 4 weeks into the season? Like they were the Super Bowl champion. That was a simpler time back then.
Simpler time.
No, it was. And obviously we saw in a game in Buffalo what New England was able to go in and take care of business. I guess the buttoned up is Buffalo's not as buttoned up as we thought they were.
And then the Rams have a road game right now, but that's more the product of the fact that the Cardinals are running away at the division. I will make a bold prediction, and we'll get to the pick'em coming up in just a little bit. I know that – do we have it? I don't know that we have that. We don't have that game on the sheet, so I can actually go ahead and give that one to you. I honestly believe the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals on Monday night. Honestly believe that. They don't have a choice.
Really?
They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice.
Really? So you're saying that Matthew Stafford exercises those demons on a team with a winning record, and it's going to be against them?
They'll improve to 10-55.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know, because I'm thinking if I'm Cliff Kingsbury and I'm Arizona and whatever, I know exactly what I can do and deliver this gut punch and deliver this pretty much almost not knockout punch, but I can hit you really, really hard, right square in the face with a win against you on Monday, because not only in the standings what it does, but think about the newspapers, the media. Think about, are they ever going to do it? And things start to go south. Because think about if right now in L.A. with what Stafford's going on, this is new. Right? It went through the honeymoon phase. Now we're into the Detroit. You go a year later or you go into this year, it's only going to get worse, right? And I think to that point is that Monday they lose. I just think that the Arizona's got the Rams number. I think it's more of a McVay thing. And I don't, I think they're just clicking. And the way they found a way to work without Kyler Murray, and then to have him come back, to have Hopkins come back, to guys that play that they see more of the team, and I think that they realize if they're going to make that next step and want to be, as Arizona wants to be taken seriously, they can put another nail right into the Rams. And us as Lions fans, please do it. Give me a higher draft pick.
Well, and that's where I get conflicted with this game, because I honestly believe the Rams are going to win, though I want them to lose. Because you're talking about another 3 spots, Joy. We're getting down to it, bro.
We're getting down to it. And what we're looking at right now is just right now. Like, even what we see right here, all that can change in the next 4 weeks. All this right here can change.
What's amazing to me about the Cardinals' run, and all the evidence is there with the Cardinals. Like, you should believe it. The way they are beating teams to sleep on the road. They're winning road games by double digits.
That's why
you can't fake that.
You can't tell me, looking at this team right now with what they've been through, because they missed their quarterback, they missed guys, different injuries, but they've kept it together a lot better. And look at the wins that they've had.
Double digits on the road.
They've gone to places on the road. What do I say about the Detroit Red Wings and home record, road record? Right? It's the same thing in other sports, even more so maybe in football, because home field advantage is supposed to be a little bit more of a thing. But to Arizona, that's just they continue to be a better team. Now, Neal, they still haven't proven anything, because until they win the play.
That's where it comes back to me.
So that's the whole point. But when I'm looking at it from 30,000 feet, right, and looking at what Arizona's done and what I've heard out of there and where they're done, and I look at the Rams and what's going on, I'm not sold on the Rams. Like I was earlier in the year, I'm more sold on Arizona. If I could take my pick about Arizona.
See, I'm just not yet, man.
This is what it is for me. So if we're looking at this right here, all right, the Patriots are number 1 seed. You look at Arizona. I think Arizona is not number 1 seed by the end of the year. Their schedule is tough. I mean, they have the Rams this week. They have the Colts, and 2 weeks after that, then they have the Cowboys, and then they have the Seahawks. These are some tough games they have to play. But if you look at this, I think when it's all said and done, I think we're going to have Green Bay as the number 1 seed. If you're looking at their record, like you're looking at who they have to play.
I could 100% see that.
See, I can see they have the Ravens next, which that's a beatable team. They have the Browns. They're going through what they're going through over there. That's a beatable team. They have the Vikings. I don't see the Vikings beating Green Bay 2 times in one season. I don't see them sweeping them. And then they have the Lions for the last game of the season. I don't see the Lions beating Green Bay. Their schedule is basically set. Like, they hold their own fate right now. Arizona's not going to win out.
Is there a team that is in right now that you're looking at, either AFC or NFC, that you do not think will be there? Like, is Washington?
Well, who knows? I think that Washington's the best team in that division. But again, they're playing Dallas, so we'll see.
So you're not sold on Dallas?
How can you ever be sold on Dallas?
Can we agree that? Because I agree with Joy. Out of anybody there, but Green Bay, I'm sold, because I know what to expect, and I know Aaron Rodgers is only going to get healthier, and as the season goes on and stuff like this. But man, like, for Arizona not have proven anything to me because they still have to do it, I'm confident in them. And then still Dallas, what do they got? And then you still got the defending champions. We're not talking about Tampa Bay right now. Don't forget about them. Don't sleep on them.
And no one's talking. And look at the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs and the Bucs are the two that stand out to me. Like, when you look at this road here, those are the two that, I mean.
Those are the two teams. Like, so this is, when everything is said and done, it's two teams on there. It's two teams on there that when you look at them, if they just make it to the playoffs, it's a whole new season. And that's how they're going to look at it. That's going to be Tampa Bay, and that's going to be the Chiefs. All they got to do is just make it to the playoffs.
It's because they know. They've been
because at the beginning of the year, you know.
Well, as long as you have that home game.
But listen, but the thing is this, though. The thing is this. When the season first started and they dropped 2 or 3 games, their time is done. I mean, their time is done. And you look up now, they're 8-4. You look up now, they're 8-4. And so you sit back, you look at it now, it's just like, I fear them more in Tampa Bay more than any team on that roster because you never bet against Tom Brady, and the Chiefs have been elite the past few years. And so until their throne has been taken, I'm with them.
You roll with them.
I'm rolling with them.
Tony Pasta says the fix is in to get the Patriots to play Tom Brady and the Bucs in the Super Bowl. Now, that's a good theory right there, Tony. I'm with you. Another good theory is our second annual Stuff a Studio here at Woodward Sports and Myre presenting our Stuff a Studio. Our studio is here in downtown Birmingham, 34915 Woodward Avenue in Birmingham. Next Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Pull up on us. Bring those toys. Last year, Woodward Sports donated over $70,000 in toys to the Mott's Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor, the largest donation in Mott history. This year, we're doing it again with our great partners, Myre, and the power of our supporters to stuff the studio. Next week, all week, 7 a.m., 10 p.m., come through the Woodward Sports Studio. If you're a local business, notate that. We'll give you guys a shout-out on the air. You can also donate online. If you can't make it down, go to woodwardsports.com. And we had one of our listeners, Pete Smith, made the mention. He worked at the Mott Hospital in high school. It hits different when you walk through there. And for me, this is a special cause to me because I'm a parent. And, you know, whatever we can do to help that process along for everybody, I want to make sure that we do. So, again, we're stuffing the studio with toys. We're bringing them to Mott's Children's Hospital. A lot of these kids have been in that hospital all year long. Let's give them a great Christmas. Let's give them a great holiday season. And it's pretty simple to do. Just pull up on us, drop that toy off, and we will get it. That's it, Joy. That's it. That's it, Virtual Joy. Pull up on us, bring those toys. We'll get them to Mott's Children's Hospital. We'll be right back with more Big D Energy.
Pull up.
Fellas, football season is here. It's time to make your grooming experience easy like Sunday morning. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Opinions are like ear holes, and we're putting ours in yours.
Well, that's not winning, Joy.
It's Woodward Sports.
Coming on the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network on a Friday. Everybody feeling it here today. My name is Neal Rule. He's D-Mac Darren McCarty. Joy Bell is in the captain's chair, fishing the bull. Sawyer in the booth. He's blocking. He's the pulling guard and just blasting open the line so we can run right through it. It's time for Pick'em. And it's sad for me. It's a sad edition of Pick'em because it's the last, college game of the regular season. The bowl thing is goofy because players won't be playing. But we'll tackle the NFL games first. Ravens at the Browns. Browns 2.5-point favorite. Joik, they're begging you to take the Ravens, giving you 2.5 points on the road. What do you got?
I don't see the Ravens losing to the Browns.
I don't either.
I don't see that.
I don't either. But D-Mac,
I mean, even right now, even right now in the state, I think the Browns have too much things going on inside the organization, in that locker room. they might be focused for the game, but I don't see them beating the Ravens.
But D-Mac,
that line says Ravens all day. But they want you to take the Ravens, so I'm taking the Browns. I'm taking the Browns.
Why are the Browns a 2.5-point favorite? Why?
Dude, I no idea. Absolutely no idea.
I don't even understand how they would even give that spread. Now if you play straight up,
smells so bad, you got to take the Browns.
Yeah.
They're begging you. This is one of those games.
I mean, it is the Browns' last stand. You're getting to that time of year where you got to win games if you want to make the playoffs. I don't like the smell of it, but I'm probably walking into one. But I'm with Joik. I'm taking the Ravens and the points, man. I am. I know it's stupid going in. I know it's stupid of me, but I'm doing it. So D-Mac's the only one brave enough to take the Browns.
You think they're giving them that many points because they're going to the dog pound on the road in this time of the year?
Yeah, like it's the last stand for the Browns. Like I said, you're going on the road.
Coming off of the effort, Lamar Jackson looking disheveled.
Is he taking on water? Is his ship taking on water? We don't know. Lamar has to get it done. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go with it. I don't like it, but I'll go with it. Raiders at the Chiefs. The Chiefs. 9.5-point favorite.
Yeah,
that's a lot of lumber.
I got the Chiefs.
It's a lot of lumber, but again,
Raiders have the Chiefs number too.
To your point, this is probably one of those games that you're slowly but surely seeing the Chiefs sort of come back into looking more Chiefs-ish. That's a lot. That's a ton of points, but I don't know, man. That's a ton of points, but I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'm gonna give the points because I think that they got to start building and get something to get out of the 4 spot.
Yeah, I'll tell you this.
I'm taking the Raiders with all those points because
I'm taking the Raiders too.
The Raiders they play with the
win.
Chiefs all the time. They always do. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense that they do, but they do. And the Chiefs, it's funny. Like we've been talking about how people were sleeping on them, and they went forever without covering a spread. Now all of a sudden they're back to the near double-digit favorite at home. It's too many. So I'm going Raiders. So Joik and I, man. D-Max.
It's all right.
He walks alone.
On my island.
He walks alone. Cowboys at the Washington football team. What is this right? Washington football team's 4.5-point underdog at home. I don't know. I don't. I'll take Washington football team getting 4.5. Man. I think they're getting it together.
You know what? Taylor Heineke's throwing like 7 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions.
He's doing enough to get you by.
He is. Do the Cowboys step up? Do they have that? Zeke's been hurt. I'm going to go Washington football team too here with that points because I think it's a 3-point.
Yeah, I think so too. What do you got, Joik? Washington football team getting 4.5 at home against the Cowboys.
I got it. I like Heineke. I like him a lot, actually.
So we're across the board on the Washington football team.
I like him.
Here's a good one, folks, because this is going to say a lot, too, about both these teams. 49ers at the Bengals. 49ers a 1.5-point favorite. You got the Bengals?
I got the Bengals, man.
Plus a 1.5. What do you got?
I got Burrow cakes all day.
See, I got the 49ers.
Yeah.
Coming off that loss at Seattle, they got to have it. They do. The 49ers have to have this game.
But at home?
I know.
You put your mortgage on it?
And that spread's weird, too. Like that spread is weird to me.
Yeah, that says take 49ers.
No doubt it does. The 49ers at 6-6. They're much in the same boat as the Browns right now. Like they're getting down to it. This is a swing game.
Who do you have more confidence in? I would have more confidence in the Browns and the Ravens or the Bengals and the 49ers. I mean, it depends which Bengals team comes out of the gate.
And that's the rub. Like I don't know.
They're more Bengals. Like they're more consistent, but they can have that down game. But I like Joe Burrow, man. I think that he's as a legit young quarterback, pretty calm, cool, and collected. So I think the Bengals. But to your point, Neal, the 49ers need to win this.
They got to have it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bengals because 49ers. They're not playing my guy Chicken Trey. They're playing Trick or Treat. Might have been different.
You'd be all in?
I'd be all in.
All right, here, probably the headline game of the week, Joik. Buffalo Bills at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay -3 and the hook, 3.5. Who do you got?
I got Tampa Bay. You never bet against Brady.
You can't question that logic.
Brady at home. You got to take them. And like I said, Buffalo thought they were the world beaters, thought they were ready to make the next step, but they're too inconsistent. So
I'll go fishing. And when you go fishing, what do you take with you?
Lures.
And?
Bait.
And what do you put the bait on?
A pole.
And a
rod.
Hook.
And a hook.
And a hook. I'm always going to take the hook with me. You try, D-Mac, you try, but I wouldn't let you off the hook right there. I'm taking it strictly on the hook, strictly on the fact that they lost a game they had to have last weekend. I'm not saying they win, but if they lose,
right,
it'll be by 3.
And to be fair, I was a little confused. I've been fishing with dynamite lately, Sawyer, so, I mean, that works in Red Dead Redemption, so I was a little off. I guess you could use the hook, too.
Lastly, in the NFL, I know this spread has changed a little bit since we posted it here, but Rob J says in a YouTube chat thread, no way Buffalo fighting for their life. And that's it, too. Like, I with these teams, you know, the fighting for your life thing appeals to me. Lions at the Broncos. In Maz's world, the Broncos an 8-point favorite. Who do you got, Joik?
Who do I want to win?
Who do you got, Joik? Who are you taking?
I'm taking the Broncos.
Minus the 8.
Actually, no, I'm going to take the Lions because I want them to actually get the first-round pick. So I'm going to go for the Lions this game. I'm going to go for the Lions. Whenever I go for the Lions, they always surprise me, and they always end up losing.
It's the best of both. We're going to have the best. Don't you get it? The Lions are giving us the best of both worlds. They're 8-4 against the spread. They're going to be 9-4 against the spread with another loss. They're going to lose this game by like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But you got to take the Lions.
You got to take the Lions with more than touchdowns.
I'm going to take
the
the Lions
Lions.
on points.
Will be the worst team with the best record against the spread at the end of the year. Watch.
Just remember, good teams win, but great teams cover. And the Lions against the spread have been great
especially
this year.
for draft capital.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're going to Lions cover the spread, right? The Rams lose. The draft capital goes up, stays the same. Oh, my gosh, what a Monday.
What a Monday.
What a Monday.
Speaking of Monday, when we come back, I'll get you right for Monday because I got the get right pick coming for you this weekend. It's so late that it's on Sunday, but I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you right. If your weekend is a colossal disaster, real quick, Army Navy.
Oh,
Army 7-point favorite over Navy. Joy.
Now, isn't there before I pick this game? Isn't there some sort of beating in the series going down right now?
Yeah, it's shifted now. Army's been great as of late. I can't remember what the exact numbers are. Army's won 4 of the last 5. Navy used to run it, but it's flipped right now. Navy's getting 7 from Army. Joy, who do you like?
Army's getting 7?
Yep. No, Navy's getting 7.
I'm rocking with Army.
You're rocking with Army, laying the 7?
Army giving the 7. Let's go, you grunts.
See, normally I would take Navy with the points in this, but the over-under at 34.5 when a team is getting 7.
I heard it's also dropping.
Is it? Yeah, as of late. That's what I've heard. So there's some value to taking Navy. So I'm going to take Navy in this one. So when we come back, I'm going to get you right, and we will ride off into the sunset, get the weekend started on the right foot. It's Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Guardian Alarm, guys. You know what? It's that time because they get it. A good defense on and off the field helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm is state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe, all with 24/7 monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke, or the deadly killer, carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock doors. So, if you want in on this great deal, call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
It's a Friday, boys. We got to hit it in the back and halfway across Birmingham. 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house. Get away.
Stay out of Fish's house, especially because the Grey Cup's coming up on Sunday. That's 1-800. Stay out. Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90 years at keeping families safe. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts, here protecting us residentially, commercially, and everything. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We'll be back with Neal Rule's Get Right Pick of the Weekend.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it. Spin. Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Woodward Sports. Missed part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Final segment of the week here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Joik Bell as well. Remember, on Sunday, I'll be on the pregame show live from O'Toole's in Royal Oak with Braylon Edwards, my guy Adam, Jade, and more. Make sure you catch us on Woodward Sports, getting you ready for the Lions and the Broncos. 2 o'clock. Remember, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff. Now it is time for my Get Right North of the Border special. So look, say the Army-Navy game doesn't go your way. Say those 1 o'clock games, you get all of them wrong. Say you're down at halftime in your 4 o'clock games, and you got to circle the wagons, and you got to get all those losses together and get right. I'm going to get you right in the Grey Cup, and I just literally checked the line right before we came back from that commercial break, and I'm happy to report right now, latest line, jump on this, folks. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a 3-point favorite over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And look, people like Fish, they got their Cat stuff out. It's a blackout too. Hamilton has this. This is a home game for Hamilton.
It is blackout.
You'll be in attendance, right?
Yeah, I'll be in attendance. I don't know if I'll wear black. I mean, I guess this is black, so I guess maybe I'll wear black.
See, there you have it. Fish will be partaking. Fish is all Team Tiger Cats. I hate to break Fish's heart, but if you're down money on the weekend and it's like $5.55, get in on Winnipeg. Get in right now, especially too, -3. Now, this thing's been weird. It opened up at 2.5. Winnipeg was a 2.5-point favorite. It shot all the way up to 4. That was way overinflated. Now it's back down to 3. I'm comfortable getting in. And remember this, too, about the CFL. The Rouge is in play.
The Rouge.
The Rouge is in play. So, I'm a little less cognizant of the 3, the hooks, all that kind of stuff. Now, don't get it wrong. I'm happy that this is back down to a 3 flat. I can comfortably jump in and get you right. Winnipeg, -3, -105, what I saw too. So a little bit less juice as well. All the factors are there. Look, the Ticats were 8-6. They were a mediocre team. They're riding the wave a little bit. They beat Toronto, and that's fine, but Winnipeg's clearly the better team here. People are overinflating this home game stuff, the blackout, all of it. Winnipeg's a better team. You're going to get comfortable with this one, too. Not only are you going to win with this one, you want to sprinkle some on an alt line. Now, who am I to stop you?
You're picturing a blowout then, similar to 2019, 32-12?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not telling you to lay 20 points or anything like that, but you want to lay a 7.5, get you a little 2-1 or something like that. Feel free, jump in. Your main thing, though, get Winnipeg -3, and old Uncle Neal's got you right on Sunday. Remember, penalty flags are red in the CFL.
That is true. And there's a 55-yard, and you got to watch out you don't run into the goalpost at the goal line. That is the one. Come on.
20-yard end zone.
Right, now we've nailed it down, and I'm not going to ever say anything against your pick, but it'll be interesting because I do think in this case home field might play to an advantage. But the bottom line is, anybody else watch these games and hope somebody runs into the goalpost? And
that's a very D-Mac thing.
But if you watch them, right, when they get down, because it's 3 downs, they use that goalpost as a pick.
They do.
As we do in the NFL, we have 3 receivers and one guy runs, sorry, not sorry.
The crossing route?
Sorry, not sorry.
Where they always bump into the other defensive back.
They use that, and I'm waiting for that hella collision. So, I don't know.
Are you going to be watching D-Mac?
Am I going to be Fish, I will tell you this. I will not watch the whole game if it plays out the way Neal does, but I will flick it on. I would like to see the kickoff. I like to hear the song. I like to hear the song before the game, the old country song, the old Canada. We'll hear that. See how it plays out. If you've never seen a CFL game, it's action packed. I like the guys moving at the line of scrimmage. I like the way that the game moves.
There's only 3 downs, not 4.
When I played in Calgary, man, we used to go to Stampeders game.
Yeah.
Now,
Stampeders.
Cold as hell. cold, but, you warm up from the inside, but those are always fun to watch.
Joik, you ever, any of your friends, any of them play in the CFL at all? Anybody ever tell you any CFL stories?
So I had teammates from college who actually recruited from Canada who came over and played and went back and got drafted
in the CFL.
Right in the CFL. Tristan Black was one of them. And I think I played with a few other guys who went to go play in the Canadian League to get filmed to come back into the NFL. But I don't hear any stories.
Just other than it's cold, huh?
Yeah, it's
Hey, Neal,
cold.
will you explain?
You have to pay taxes are high there. They have to pay taxes there, and they have to pay taxes here. It's like something weird. So
will you explain the Rouge for AC?
Oh, is he questioning about the Rouge?
Love the Rouge.
Yeah. Essentially, when you can't return a missed field goal out of the end zone, you get a point.
If you can't return the ball out of the end
zone.
zone.
People are going to get mind blown because sometimes when they get pinned within like the 2-yard line on a punt, they'll like intentionally take a safety. People are going to get mind blown by that if they see that. They're like, what? They're taking a safety? That's never happened in the NFL.
Yeah. So they kick a field goal. You know, this is a layman's terms. They kick a field goal. Say the field goal's missed. You have to return the field goal, Fish.
You got to return it out of the end zone.
Yeah, you got to return it out of the end zone. Or the kicking team gets a point.
Or you give them the point, and then
or you concede the point. You concede the Rouge.
And then they kick off to you? Or what happens after the
Rouge?
Yeah,
they kick off to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, the end zone in the NFL or in the CFL is 25 yards long. So the guy's got to, if you boot one from 30 and miss, while you're in the back of the end zone, it's a lot easier
to get the Rouge.
To get the Rouge.
Yeah, so just remember that comes into play, and it's goofy. There's no doubt, but it's fun. It's hella fun.
Goofy and
fun. And the
fun.
penalty flags are red. So, appreciate everybody. Great week. Joy, give it to him one more time.
Gang.
Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. My name's Neal Rule. Well, see you later.
It's not what I'm up to, Okerlund. It's what it all comes down to. And what it all comes down to is this. Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.